Sit on the floor supporting your weight on your hands. Cross one leg over and roll back and forth from above the ankle to below the knee. Turn the lower body slightly to the side to roll on the outer calf and the inner calf muscles. To mobilize the hamstrings, roll the back of the thigh back and forth on a foam roller. To increase the intensity, cross one thigh over the other so all the weight is on one thigh. Sit on top of a foam roller with the right ankle crossed over the left knee and roll back and forth. Repeat on the other side. For the quadriceps, support yourself on the elbows and roll the front of your thigh back and forth on a foam roller. To increase the intensity, cross one thigh over the other so all the weight is on one thigh. Stand tall and extend both arms straight overhead with the palms facing in. Interlace the fingers and press the palms up and draw the upper arms close to the ears. Change the interlace by putting the other pinky on the bottom. Turn the palms and press them up again. Next, hold above the elbows behind the back and roll the front shoulders back to open the chest. Change sides. Next, lift one arm up the back with the palm facing out and then reach the other arm up overhead. Bend the elbow and hold hands. Again, roll the shoulders back. Draw the elbow points away from each other. Finally, for reverse prayer, touch the fingertips together and then turn the fingers up and slide the hands up the back. Feel this intensely at the wrists and shoulders. Roll the shoulders back. Bring the hands closer to the neck as mobility improves. From child's pose, press up into downward dog. Fully extend the elbows and knees and press the heels down as you lift the sit bones up. Press the whole palm into the floor and lengthen the sides of the trunk more. Move the chest towards the thighs. If the hamstrings are tight, place the hands on the seat of a chair. The legs, arms, and trunk are all straight, and the chest moves down towards the floor. Notice the slight extension in the spine. If the hamstrings are very tight, walk in until the legs are vertical and the arms are supported on the chair. Stand tall and shift the weight to one foot. Lift the foot to the hand and press equally between the inner thigh and the sole of the foot to hold the foot in place. Bring the hands to the hips to make the hips level, and then reach the arms up overhead. Turn the right knee to the back as you press the right sit bone forward. Stand with the feet together and then hold one ankle with one or two hands in balance. Keep the thighs parallel and lift the belly button up towards the chin as you reach the knee down and back. Draw the heel into the buttocks and roll the shoulders back. Lift the chest. Here are a few ways to stretch the hip flexors. From kneeling, step forward with one foot and slide the hips forward to make a straight line from knee to knee. Press the hips forward while you slightly contract the back leg gluteus muscle to increase the stretch on the front of the hip. Now slightly extend the back knee off the floor without lifting the head up. Keep the tailbone moving down and don't crush the low back. Place a yoga block under the front leg sit bone for support. With the hands on the hips, move the tailbone down as you lift the front waist up. Tuck the front foot in towards the block to add a calf stretch. Lie with a foam roller under the sacrum. This is the bony part at the center back of your pelvis. Hold one leg into the chest to tip the pelvis and extend the other leg out. Attempt to draw the back ribs down towards the floor to further tip the pelvis. Feel the stretch on the front hip of the extended leg. For this hip flexor stretch, stride one leg back into a lunge position, reach the arms overhead, and turn the trunk over the front bent leg. Fully extend the back knee and lift the front pelvis up. Come up and stride back with the other leg. From hands and knees, slide one leg out. Slightly arch the back and alternate extending the sit bones up and back with the toes rotated forward, and then extend the sit bones up and back again with the toes rotated up. From hands and knees, walk the knees wide apart with the inside edges of the knees and ankles on the floor. Press the hips back, arching the back and lifting the sit bones to stretch the inner thighs, and then press the hips forward, moving the tailbone down and forward to stretch the front of each hip. Place a yoga brick under the sacrum on the tall and narrow side. The sacrum is the center back of the pelvis, and the brick is not on the spine at all. Interlace the fingers beyond the brick and roll the shoulders back to open up the chest. Remain with the legs bent, or to increase the extension on the back, extend the legs out, one leg at a time, keeping the feet together. Stay for up to 2 minutes. To come out, bend the legs, lift the hips off the block, and slowly lower the hips down. If you can't sit on your shins due to tightness at the front of the ankles, roll a blanket halfway and place your ankles on the roll with the toes straight back and aligned with the front edge of the seat. Use a second blanket under the knees. Roll the calf muscle out of the way and sit back between the heels. Rest the shoulder blades and head on the seat of the chair and reach the arms back, first over the back rung and then through it. As ankle mobility improves, complete the same stretch without the blankets. Roll the calf muscle out of the way and sit back between the heels. Rest the shoulder blades and head on the seat of the chair and reach the arms back, first over the back rung and then through it. Next, using blocks for support, kneel with the thighs and shins parallel and the heels touching the hips. All of the toes are on the floor. Lie back with the yoga block between your shoulder blades and another block for the head. Reach the arms overhead first and then hold each elbow to lengthen the trunk. Press the pinky toes down as you roll the inner thighs down. To come up, place the hands on the soles of the feet and lift from the chest so the head is the last to come up. For more limber bodies, use lower blocks. The thighs are parallel and the heels touch the hips. Lie back with the yoga block between your shoulder blades and another block for the head. Reach the arms overhead first and then hold each elbow to lengthen the trunk. From a lunge position, reach back and hold the foot with the opposite hand and draw the heel to the buttocks. To change the quad stretch, hold the foot with both hands and draw the foot close to the hip. Keep the trunk tall as you press the knee down and lift the front pelvis up. As a variation, place the shin on the wall with the knee close to the wall, then step forward with the opposite foot. Place the hands on the floor inside the foot and press the hips forward, making a straight line from knee to knee. Next, glide the hips back towards the wall and hold the front thigh with the trunk tall. Attempt to bring the buttocks and low back to the wall. Keep the toes pointing straight up and the heel touching the side of the hip. Hold the wall for balance and eventually reach the arms up overhead to increase the length in the trunk. Step one foot alongside the hands and make a right angle with the knee, keeping the spine straight. To increase the stretch on the groin and hip, lower the elbows to the floor. Turn the hips to face down and keep the back leg straight. Lie prone with the arms out to the side at shoulder height. Lift the left leg up and cross it over to touch the right hand. Bring the foot to the hand, not the hand to the foot. Hold a few seconds and repeat several cycles to each side. This is essentially a catch camel position. Lie flat and draw the knee into the chest, and then turn the thigh out and hold the shin like a log at the crook of the elbows. Attempt to lie flat while holding the shin parallel to the shoulders and draw the foot close to the opposite shoulder. To move more deeply into the stretch, take the same hand as foot behind the head and hold the other hand. Though not shown, it is less intense to do this stretch with the bottom leg bent and the foot flat on the floor. Sit with the trunk facing over one leg with the heel of the bent leg in front of the opposite hip. Reach the arms up and then forward towards the floor. To progress the stretch on the outer hip, move the foot forward slightly, keeping both the knee and the foot on the floor. Again, reach the arms up to stretch the back hip flexor and then forward to stretch the front hip. As mobility improves, progress to having the shin parallel to the front of the mat with the ankle and knee down. Reach up and then forward for the full stretch. First, lie down close to a wall and place the turned out feet on the wall. Gently press the thighs down. Next, place the soles of the feet together in butterfly with the toes at the wall and lie back flat on the floor or on 2 blocks if the hip flexors and groins are very tight. Stay for several minutes to let the groins release. Next, lie flat and do a spread eagle with the feet at the wall. Press the pinky toes down as you attempt to lift the heels up. Repeat the spread eagle face down. Now press the inner heels down into the floor and prop the trunk up on the outstretched arms. Finally, hold a strong strap anchored high with the feet turned out at 180 degrees. Lean back as you press the hips forward and lift the chest up as you extend back. Balance on one leg and extend the free leg back behind you and up into a spiral. Keep the weight even on the front and back of the foot. Fully straighten both knees and lift the chest away from the floor. As a variation, start kneeling and lift one leg back as you lift the head up and forward. Here you can work on the leg lift and spinal extension without the limitation of tight hamstrings. From kneeling, slide out into a split and turn the back leg down so the kneecap and all 5 toenails are facing the floor. Reach the arms up overhead and feel the stretch in the back leg hip flexor. To increase the hamstring stretch on the front leg, bend forward and reach towards the foot. Return to vertical and reach the arms up. As a modification, slide the front leg onto the seat of a folding chair and hold the seat or the backrest or reach the arms up. Turn the back toes straight down and extend the back knee to increase the hip flexor stretch on the back leg. Place the top of the foot and shin against the wall and extend the other leg out in front to a split. Use support of 2 blocks under the front thigh at first and progress to lower blocks. This is a very intense stretch for most, so go slowly. Make sure the back shin and foot point straight up. Use the support of the hands on the blocks at first and then extend the arms up. Though not shown, as hip flexor mobility improves, reach the arms up and back to the wall and eventually hold the foot. Lowering the height under the thigh also increases the stretch. Bring the knees into the chest and hold the ankles, then place the feet on the floor close to the hips. Roll the outer shoulders back towards the floor and lift the hips up. Lift the chest until the thoracic spine or shoulder blades are vertical and the sternum is touching the chin. If you can't reach your ankles, use a strap around them and lift up. Roll the shoulders back to lift the chest even more. Come up and down several times. Hold the outside edge of your foot, kick the foot up and back, and lift the front of the thigh off the floor. Extend the opposite arm and leg up as well. For full bow pose, hold the outside edges of your feet and kick the feet up and back. Keep lifting from the fronts of the thighs. Use the legs to open the chest. From high kneeling, lift the chest and roll the shoulders back as you place the hands on the buttocks and then the backs of the thighs. Reach back for the feet. Once caught, press the hips forward to make the thighs perpendicular to the floor. Release the neck back. Stay for up to 30 seconds. Inhale to come up and lead with the chest, not with the head. Lie on your back with the knees bent and place the hands next to your shoulders with the forearms parallel. In one motion, press the feet and hands, extend the arms and legs, and lift up. Bring the shoulders over the wrists and the buttocks up. To increase the lift, come up to the tiptoes, lift the pelvis up, and walk in. To come out, look up at the ceiling and lower yourself down to the floor, placing the back of the head down first. From child's pose, press up into downward dog. Fully extend the elbows and knees and press the heels down as you lift the sit bones up. Press the whole palm into the floor and lengthen the sides of the trunk more. Move the chest towards the thighs. If the hamstrings are tight, place the hands on the seat of a chair. The legs, arms, and trunk are all straight, and the chest moves down towards the floor. Notice the slight extension in the spine. If the hamstrings are very tight, walk in until the legs are vertical and the arms are supported on the chair. Have a yoga block handy. From long sitting, bend one leg back alongside the thigh, with the toes pointing straight back and the heel touching the hip. Place a yoga block under the opposite sit bone. Stretch the arms up and then bend forward to hold the foot. Keep the arms straight and look up. Widen the collarbones and attempt to make the spine concave. For the next phase, bend forward and bring the head down to the shin or the knee. Bend the elbows out to the side and forward to help draw the trunk down. From kneeling, extend the trunk and arms forward. Kneel with the toes together and the knees slightly apart. Bend forward so the side ribs and inner thighs are close or touching each other and the sit bones are on the heels. Walk the fingers forward any amount. Now press the right sit bone into the heel and walk the hands to the left. Then walk the right hand out just a little bit farther as you keep reaching the right sit bone back. Feel the strong stretch on the right side of the trunk. Now walk over to the other side and repeat. As a variation, lie supine and draw one knee towards the armpit and extend the opposite leg down towards the floor. Or, draw both legs into the trunk to release the low back and fully flex the hips.